It's me, Halfd0rk. So, today, we are back in Vox Edit, working on assets for our card game. So, what assets are we making, you might ask? Well, we're going to be focusing on animations. So I want to make some like cool animated effects that our cards and our monsters will be performing. Excuse me. Sorry for that. But before we get into it, a little announcement. We do want to remind you of the Steampunked event, or I should say contest going on. So get Steampunked being the theme, 5,000 sand. Deadline is going to be November 25th. Oh, I got like something in my excuse me. So 5,000 sand, split amongst all of our top 10 winners. So first place getting 1,500, second place 1,000, third place 800, etc., etc. But the theme is getting steampunked. So it's making a steampunk vehicle, which is very fun. Thank you, Slaterhead. So we need a lot of skilled engineers and mechanics to create some awesome steampunk vehicles. So we're heading to the workshop. So try to make yourself a cool steampunk vehicle. You do still have until the 25th. That is the deadline. So that's in 2 days. I guess 3 days if you're counting today. But plenty of time to make a cool vehicle. So we would love to see it here at Sandstorm. And be sure to fill out the form once you've got your submission complete. But until then, I'm going to be working on our Sandstorm series of a card game. So thank you, Sandstorm, for allowing me to make this. So the first thing I wanted to do is take another look at our card art. So we're going to be making animations based on this card art. So this bug bite, for example, and all of these voxel models, there should be a way to export each one. So we're going to be exporting these voxes and then putting them in a folder that we can easily find. We'll do TCG art 1, and we'll start with 3. We'll do a combustion. That sounds cool. So again, we're exporting the art. So we can just, find it easier. Art 2. And then, yeah, we'll try this one. So export TCG _ art -3. Well, all of you celebrating Thanksgiving, I hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving. And whatever else you got going on through the week. There's, I'm sure, plenty of events happening this time of the year. A lot of holidays, a lot of get-togethers. Let's start from scratch here. I'm going to make TCG _ animations. We'll call this VFX. I think that'll be easier to spot. This is our version 1. The first thing I like to do is import a new hierarchy. So this is a hierarchy I've made before on a previous project. And so this hierarchy is going to be using a avatar. And so it basically has a character size model that I can use for reference. All right, and then we're going to be importing those boxes that we just exported. So those will be in our imports folder. And so we can see here, I've already got my card art ready to go. And so I'm going to use that as basically inspiration, but also, I can do some shortcutting here and basically copy this. So we're going to duplicate it. And this is going to be bug bite top. And what I'll do is I'll go into the bug bite top and then remove everything except for the claws. And then I want, or not claws, but teeth. And so that way I can just remove all of this and then animate those teeth into doing like a little bite action. So that's what we're making right now. Yeah, today's been a weird morning for me. I might be sick. I don't get sick often, so it's honestly hard to say, like when I'm sick. Usually I know. But I think it's just a lot to do with my bad dieting. You know, I'm not eating as well as I could. And then we lost internet just before the show. I was with Slater talking about that. We almost had to cancel and make a rerun, but luckily my internet came back, so fingers crossed it stays back. But yeah, just lots of I guess you could say show problems this morning. But I'm happy to report, you know, we're here now. We're making cards for our card game. Cool. So now that I've kind of cut out our teeth here, I can use the rectangle tool, and with the eraser mode, I can just cut large swaths out. That'll save us some time. I am trying to get like a rim around the teeth here. And we might revisit it and make it a little bit bolder, kind of like a stroke. Yeah, if anybody has questions, no matter what it's about, so it could be Vox Edit, Sandstorm specific things, Game Maker, what have you, just let us know. We're here to help. Until then, I'll just be doing my thing. Just doing my thing. Cool. We'll get a little more align tool. That way we can finesse this a little. Nice. So now we got some teeth. So I'll go ahead and save this, save our progress. What I'll also do is crop it and set to center. So I could do set to floor, but if I was to pivot this so I could make it, you know, go out, I would probably want the pivot point to be where the jaw of the teeth begins. So rather than have it at the bottom, which is the average, for this top portion of the jaw, we probably have it at the top. So we'll try it out, see how that works. And then we're going to duplicate our bug bite again, and this time we'll cut out the bottom. I can go ahead and just delete this portion. Yeah, but for those of you visiting, what are you building today? Hey, Panda Pops is here. What's up? Go West is here. I told Go West about a dream I had. He was in it. And so I now hear that Go West has dream hopping powers, because that is the logical conclusion. But welcome in. Panda Pops, what are you working on today? Go West, what are you at work, or are you working on something yourself? Right now I'm making teeth. And by making, I mean cutting out a pre-purchased card art. I feel like I have to reference that because I don't see it very often in Sandbox. But some of you might know that you can purchase video game assets. These are assets you would use in other game engines like Godot or Unreal Engine or Unity or RenPy. But these assets, like, I paid for. In fact, I paid for it before I found the Sandbox, so I had them kind of lying around waiting to be used. And so this card art, so you know, you can see what I'm cutting out right now is part of a bigger picture. I'm essentially repurposing for the Sandbox. And so the licenses allow me to use them, but it's worth noting that I can't resell this. So that's where the license, you know, comes in, where I can't resell art that I have purchased. regardless, it's a great starting point, especially if somebody already owns, art such as this. Hey, what's up, Trap Edition? Welcome in. Making something for, the Creator Fund, or at least you're meant to. Focused on animations for Pigeon Lord Tarwing. Well, I hope you knock it out of the park. Is that going to be for sale? Your Pigeon Lord. And Go West, 4-hour drive after. Are you going to like a family gathering, Go West? Well, safe travels. Hope you have like a nice podcast, or maybe you're listening to a game or something. Me personally, I've been addicted to the Critical Role podcast. Lucas is right, told me to listen to a specific audiobook, but I'm probably going to have to be more convinced. Anybody here listen to audiobooks? I think I'm more of a D&D podcast mood these days. Cool. So we'll swap back to the rectangle tool, and I'll just cut out all this excess bits now that I've trimmed our teeth. And so our objective now is to animate the teeth. So I'll go ahead and crop this, and then put the pivot point, this time center and bottom. So that's kind of where the jaw would begin. We'll save it. So let's give this the good old college try. We'll do unlinking. We'll go ahead and unlink the person as well. We'll create new child node. We'll do top teeth. We'll put our top teeth. We can see here the pivot point. Put it a little bit underground, so we're just going to move that, and then we're going to make another child node. This will be bottom teeth. Put those there. And so now we want to animate this. So basically we play the card in the game. These teeth will appear. And so the trick is to use animations that hide them underground. So this might be difficult. First thing I should do is rotate this, because we're using a top-down camera. So we're going to go ahead and use our main controller node and rotate this 90 or actually 270 degrees, so it's flat on its back. We'll probably position it a little bit more central, as well as a little bit above the base floor here. And then I will maybe lower it a little. But now we're going to try and animate it. So how can we do that? Good question. We're going to make it look like it's biting. Use the block tool. Never mind. Too late, V. Nice try. But with the block tool, isn't it like specific colors still? What's up, V? Welcome in. And he'll be in the Christmas version too. Ooh, that's fun, Panda. I've done podcasts in the past, but gotten away from them. No worries, Go West. Do you listen to music? Like, what are you going to listen to on your 4-hour drive? The pigeons outside as they roost. Let's go ahead and make a new animation. This is going to be bite 01. And that way we can work from this and, delete it if we mess up. So we'll make this a 2-second animation total. And when it starts, it's going to appear, but we want it to end off screen. So this is where my game I have to think in advance, which is, it's not too bad, but essentially I want this to be removed from sight. So it's going to be underground here. And we're actually probably going to move it like 20 plus. We'll do negative 30 for kicks and giggles. So basically the animation finishes. So we'll have this back up at, I think we had 5. So the animation finishes and then it goes underground. And we'll be using the door behavior. So the way a door behavior works, much like a door opening and closing, is when the animation plays, it stops on the last frame. So that's why we have this last frame underground. So that gives you an idea of like how far ahead we're thinking. We'll probably also want the first frame to be underground. So that way it's hidden a little bit better. So we'll go ahead and copy all those keyframes. So I'm just holding down Control, right click, copy. And then I can just right click the first frame, paste, and that'll put them underground. And so the first frame we're also going to put at 5. And so now, basically the first and last frame, it's going to be underground. Hello, Cynthia Gabriel. Welcome. Trap Edition, you can add the animation of shaking. Ooh. Oh, I like what you're thinking there, Trap Edition. With the predator looking for his victim. Yeah, I'm into it. So the first thing I like to do is I'll usually go into the middle and find like where the middle of the animation plays. So we'll probably have the teeth kind of like chomped down. We can't have it like too chompy, because then the teeth kind of like run into each other. But in that case, we'll have like an overbite. So we'll put one a little bit higher than the other. Chomp. We'll probably do like 2 bites here. So that way I can make it a little bit faster. So we'll do like an open and close. Let me just delete all those. I'm going to duplicate this animation. That way I just have these frames in case I need them. I'll call it a backup. I'll probably delete it at the end of our, experiment. So we're going to copy all the keyframes here. Then we're going to go a couple frames over here and copy all of the basic starting keyframes as well. And then we're going to make the bite animation twice. So let's go ahead and do that again. So up a couple and then down. How many did we go down? Like 30. This will probably be at 40. And again, this one will also go up like so. And these don't have to be perfect, but OCD tells me they should be. So we'll right click, copy the keyframes, and then paste them. Let's see how this looks. Chomp, 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 chomp. I mean, that's pretty good chomps, if you ask me. Oh, Trap Edition, I was thinking about it. And I was thinking that's extra work, but I was also thinking it was worth it. So I think we should do it, Trap Edition. Some red blocks to make some blood. Chomp, chomp. I think the chomps look good, though. It's simple enough, It gets the idea across. So I think we should do what Trap Edition suggested. And we'll make some blood block. Blood blocks 1. Red. And it's just going to be some like sporadic blocks. That should be good enough. We'll do set to center. Save it. We'll make a new control node. This will be for our blood. And we'll probably make some child nodes for that. So we'll have like B1. And then I'll just unlink it from the parent node here. So same deal. We're making keyframes where it starts. And then we also want keyframes where it like kind of pops out. And we should also hide it. So let's go ahead and hide it before we press there. So you can see the blocks right now are under that bottom tooth. So on our starting and ending keyframes, we're going to make sure these are hidden pretty well. All we have to do is hide them under some teeth. And so now that they're hidden, when I make those new keyframes, it's going to use that hidden as its starting point. So we'll go ahead and make new keyframes and then close out the final keyframe as well. Cool. So now the blood, we can see it needs to move up with the teeth, or it needs to be kind of like flung out and about. So we'll probably send it forward. And then when it goes up, we're going to like send it outward. And then finally, at the end of the byte, we probably want it to go underground and be hidden. So we'll put it underground. So that's how you would get like an effective disappearing voxels. It's a little bit harder. Or a bit darker. Yeah, blood isn't so bright. I agree. We can see the blood kind of like fly out. Blah. But then it kind of like snaps back. But we can see it actually goes underground here. So we won't actually see it snapping back. However, we'd probably still want it to go like vertically. So we'll just push that out. So now it'll like fly out and then sink down. Let's go ahead and make a different blood block as well. This one might just be a larger version. Save it. So same deal here. We do want to actually copy these keyframes that we've made so we can reuse them. Do copy. Go back to B1 and paste them. So we can see that very, very slight blood popping out. We'll probably make the bigger one more prominent for it. So let's go ahead and duplicate that. This will be B2. And so with B2, we're going to make it go a different direction. But we can use all of that work we just did to kind of simplify it. What I'll do is I'll remove these 3 keyframes, and then I'll just duplicate the ones I make here. So this one, we'll have kind of appearing underneath. And we'll also put the original one under that top tooth as well. So it's hidden much better. Copy, and we'll paste it under that one. You dig? Superfluous. Ooh, good word. 2 or 3 should be enough. Yeah, as long as we have like enough blood. You know, so these are a little bit small, the ones we've made. So we'll kind of pop it out. And then we want it to like fly outward. And then once it flies outward, it's also going to sink to the bottom and then reset. And so we can see the reset is a little bit distracting. What I would probably do is on the last frame is put it directly under. That way it just flies up and snaps underneath, still concealing it. So we can see now it's not going to be visible at all. We'll actually do that with our initial one as well. We want to copy that last frame, paste it, and then just push it underneath that tooth. That way it's still relatively hidden. And we'll probably put it right there as well. Paste. Nope. Huh. It's not pasting that keyframe. Oh no! Box said it crashed. Box said it just crashed. No! How much work did I lose? I haven't had a box that crash in a while. I was like, why isn't it saving the keyframe? It's because it's crashing. Well, Control-Alt-Delete. But let this be a reminder that we have a Sandstorm box edit contest going on right now where you can make a steampunked vehicle. Hey Paul, what's up? So if you guys are free for the next couple days. You have less than 3 days remaining. But if you wanted to make a steampunk themed vehicle, there's a current contest to do so using Vox Edit. Making a vehicle any kind, ancient, modern, futuristic, all allowed. The prize pool is going to be 5,000 sand. First place 1,500. Second place 1,000. Third place 800. So you can get right on that. I can share the link if that's something you'd be interested in. But yeah, making a steampunk vehicle, max faces 5,000. Can't be too big, too intricate. But you still have less than 3 days to continue. Oh, there goes Vox Edit. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Vox Edit. But let me go ahead and share that link for those of you interested. Oh, and a new contest starting Monday. We like to see it. Thank you, Slaterade. Already did. Let's go, Trap Edition. Well, here's fingers crossed that it auto-saved our blood. I feel like I saved it during the bite. Oh, cool. It did save it. Let's go. Where are we going? Oh, wait. What? In the bite. Chomp, chomp. No, it's still got the blood. It's still working. So let's take this frame by frame, see if it's doing what we want it to. So when we chomp down, that's when the blood's coming out. So we'll probably delay that a little bit to where it's when the bite actually happens. That's when the blood effect starts. But other than that, it's looking there. It's subtle. The blood effect is subtle. It's what we like. So with the blood, we're going to move it all a few frames back. I want to move all of these keyframes. There we go. So chomp, then blood comes out. We'll do one more frame. Chomp blood. Chomp blood. This one will probably move a little bit out. We can see it's moving underground to reset, and that's out of view. Love to see it. The second bite, however, kind of ends abruptly. We don't need this reset so much. So what we can do is find that first keyframe. So that's this one here. And move this as far as we can to the end. Chomp, chomp. We'll probably actually make this whole animation just a couple fractions of a second longer. Like that. And then the blood one, we can finally move closer, much like we did with the first bite. All right, so now it starts. Doink, doink. And again, we're looking for when the bite actually happens. So chomp, that's where this animation begins with the blood, blah. And we'll do the same with our second. So we see here the blood kind of like flies out. Ends there, and then falls down. But we wanted to move it so that it occurs once the bite actually happens. So that's about chomp right there. Chomp. So there's a couple problems, and that's just simply because we haven't duplicated these animations. So now we'll duplicate the keyframes here. And we have our second bite, which begins about there. Chomp. Our blood's going a little bit wild. Might be too fast, but it's just a subtle effect regardless. And then our last keyframe, we actually want it to linger a little bit. So right now it's actually going under too fast. So I think that was the animation there. Move that to one keyframe. Yeah, it looks great. Cool. So we'll probably duplicate this first blood, or the bigger blood. And so there is a new contest starting Monday, Slaterade points out. So if you guys are looking for Vox Edit projects to do, be peeled, keep your eyes out. Next Monday, I'll definitely be doing the announcement, should we be streaming our trading card game progress. But always good to keep yourself busy, perfecting your craft. We love it. Yes, love to see it, Trap Edition. Chomp, chomp. I'm pretty happy with this as is. So what I'll do is I'll save this, save as. There's actually one more thing I need to do with this. We're going to delete the backup. We don't need the backup anymore. And then with the idle, that's actually not a bad idle, to be honest. The blood blocks I would probably move a little bit inward and make sure they're hidden. So the idle is what it's going to be kind of like spawning in on. And then I'm basically adding a door behavior to this bite on the open and close. Chomp, chomp. And so when you drop it into the game, it's just doing... it's just idle. It's not doing anything. But I do need to make sure our blood is hidden. Nice. Okay, so that's actually good to go. So I'm going to actually save this. So we're going to save as. And we'll go to November. And this is going to be our TCG VFX _ bug bite. I like to kind of like tag the animations I'm working on. So now if I ever have to reopen the file, which I will, probably, as we tweak it over the next couple months, it's good to go. One other thing is I'll probably delete unused or unattached assets. This helps clean up the file to where I don't have, this character or this extra art anywhere. So we'll delete the unattached stuff and we'll save it again. Go back. And then with our VFX file, I'll also save another variation. So we'll do save as. And this time we're going to do the same thing where we're making a duplicate of the next card we're working on. So we're going to do TCG VFX _ combustion. And go back and we'll open up that new file. Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and delete because we're in the combustion file, I'm going to delete the bite animation. And we're starting from scratch here. So I'm going to delete the blood node. And we're going to be deleting the teeth, but let's go ahead and duplicate its combustion. And we're going to attempt to remove the red background. V says use the box tool, which I suppose does help us. I prefer the rectangle tool, but I could see why the rectangle tool would be worse. Let's see if the face tool will help us, because that'll get complete colors when we touch it. But we can see here the shading makes that a little bit more difficult. I should still be able to get like big chunks of this red. Chunk, 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 chunk. And so what we'd like to do is try to imitate this explosion effect, which might be kind of hard. I guess we'll find out. But for now, we'll go ahead and clean this up, and then we can take it from there. Maybe the thing we can do is try to remove layers of this. So we can see we have the inner white layer, then we have like a light yellow, we have a darker yellow, we have a light orange, we have a darker orange, and then finally like a red orange. So we might try to have each one of those layers appear. So I think that's what we'll attempt to do. Oh, you have some ideas, Trap Edition, lay them on us. It's very likely to be Christmas. I think you're absolutely correct. And if you want to keep your ideas to yourself, I do not blame you. Vvox says delete the color in the color palette if it doesn't have the color you need. That's an option. Let's try it. So I'm going to take the darker color and then we'll delete it. Oh, V, look at you. Look at you. V needs to be on this show, not me. That does help. There's just a lot of variations. Okay, I'll stop. No, V, you're actually helping. Actually, for the first time ever. These little sparkle effects, we're probably going to try and recreate. Not really, since Trapedition. Wait, Trapedition, are we talking about V? Let's do combustion. I'm going to duplicate this. Combustion 2. So with this one, I'm going to delete all these little artifacts, these guys here. We'll use the box tool. So we'll clean it up. And we'll probably add those, much like how we did the blood with the bite effect. We'll probably add these little sparkles at the end of our animation. And we'll separate these a little bit, try and get that unique kind of shape on each one. Cool. So let's save this, and we're going to try and use V's suggestion now and do combustion layers. So we're going to do combustion layer 1. And so with that idea in mind, I'm going to remove everything except the colors we want. And so with this layer, I'm going to delete that one. We'll delete that one. Delete that one. This actually might help us a lot, so especially with the removal of colors. That's going to be like the start layer, so we'll save it. In our combustion 2, there were a couple artifacts I could remove now. These. Saw, and then I'll save a new layer. So we'll duplicate it. Combustion. Layer 2. Now with this one, I will delete the inner layers. And then we want to keep that yellowish. So we'll go ahead and delete everything outside of the yellow. And we can see how it starts to appear, you know, in our animator. Save it. Duplicate it again. We'll do combustion underscore layer 3. Just imagine a drunk who falls on the roof with his stuff and things falls into the pipe. Wait, is that going to be Santa? That sounds like Santa. Oh, V-Box, that's a great suggestion. Okay, when we stack it, I'll make sure they're all emissive. Backseat box editing, yep, Zombie, that's a great way to put it. So we'll do these as emissive. So I think that'll help. Should we make them all emissive? Maybe not. If they're all emissive, it's kind of... it loses a little bit of the texture. Cool, so let's make layer 3. So removing both the inner yellowish layers. I think we just want the orange, right? We'll keep that yellow. So now we have the orange. And then finally our layer 4. This is going to be everything except the very dark orange and reds. Nice. So having that emissive, we'll take a look at once we've made the animation. So what we'll do is we'll go into our main controller node again. I'll go ahead and delete the extra nodes here. And we're going to make some child nodes for each one. So we'll do layer 1, do layer 2. We'll make layer 1 first and give it like the very simple animations. So for example, the first frame will be above ground, but we're going to be duplicating this. This will be combustion. Just combust. I guess we want combust 01. So in combust 01, the first frame is going to be above ground. The first frame will be below ground. The second frame of our animation is what is going to be above ground. And so that allows us in game to make it appear as if it was, coming out of nowhere. And then also end as if it were, coming out of nowhere. So now we can duplicate this a few times. We'll probably want that last keyframe first. So let's put that on like 2.5 seconds. Seem to be pretty good. So we'll copy that keyframe, paste it. And then we'll also get that second keyframe and put it at the end as well. Paste. Great. Now we can start duplicating our child node. We'll do layer 2. We'll make that appear. And this one will probably move a little bit. So it's going to appear later. And we'll copy the very first frame where it was hidden and place it later. So boom, boom. So it'll be like a kind of like a stop motion explosion kind of. No, Vivox, do you have like a space heater? Or are you just wrapped up in blankies? Blankies help. Probably make this a little bit faster. Pop, 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 pop. Something like that. Duplicate it again. Do layer 3. With layer 3, we'll move it another like 5 frames. And then this one will replace the orange. Pop, pop, pop. Yeah, it looks great. And we'll duplicate it again. This will be layer 4. And with layer 4, we'll move it another 5 frames. Pop, 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 pop. Pop, pop, pop. Looks pretty cool. And then we're going to make it all do it again. So we'll copy these keyframes and paste them right here. We'll probably want to have the correct keyframe selected. So I'm going to make a main keyframe here. We'll right-click all of the stack, copy. Let it play for a brief moment. Probably move these all a little bit. And then we'll just take all of these keyframes, copy, and paste them. Pop, 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 pop. Probably make this last a little bit longer because we're kind of repeating the animation. This one kind of slid up, so we don't really want that. Pretty cool. Yo, what's up, Kay? How's it going? Love the sound effects. Thanks, V. I'll add those in. Paul says, is it possible to resize that keyframe area? Yes. The zoom area. And we have up to 30 seconds to work with. The loop area, I don't really work with that often, but I'm assuming this is the area we get to loop now. So my apologies if it was hard to look at. But I do like the animation we made. One thing I don't like is this little guy over here. Who are you? Delete. And so we could take this a step further and give it a little bit more depth. So let's see what that might entail. Now, there's two ways to do this. I already made all of the keyframes, but I could go back into each keyframe and move, let's say, layer 1 up 1 voxel, or I can go into layer 1 here and then adjust the pivot point to where it's in front of, like 4 voxels. And so that would, in turn, give it that layered effect, and then we'll do the same for the other ones. So we can see how that looks, and I'll reset it if it's, ugly. We'll do -3, and that'll give it kind of like this almost like mountain-esque vibe. We'll do -2. I might have done it backwards even, but we'll see. And then this one we'll just put it -1 and save. And so now it's got that like layered, stacked look, and all I had to do was adjust the pivot points in each one of our models. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Animation's lovely, thanks. And I mean, it's just stop motion, so I can't say I worked very hard on it. But it gets the point across, for sure. I'm not sure why these keyframes are here. We'll just delete them. It almost feels too slow. So isn't there a way, and this is me speaking in hypotheticals here, that I can like scrunch the animations, like instead of just moving them? I could have, because this is something in a lot of timeline-based software they have, where you can push animations closer together. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? I don't think Vox has that capability though. Oh, Vvox says yes. Vvox says yes. So how do I push? How do I do it, V? Not shift. Is it alt? I think it's alt either. Hey, Paniolo Nate, aloha. Thanks, Kay. Appreciate you. We'll probably come back to this, but overall, I'm very happy with how this combustion effect looked like. We'll revisit it later. So last thing I'll do is, because we're in the VFX combustion file, I'll delete the unattached. And so this is all we needed, is our 4 layers of combustion. And we'll save it. One thing, oh, okay, it looks like our idle animation looks great. We already preemptively set that up. Looks pretty good. And the combustion was, again, hidden underground on the first frame, and on the last frame, it's also hidden underground. That'll be important once we bring it into the game itself. Save that. And then we had one more to make, if we have enough time. It's like keyframe. Oh, V says, okay, let's see if V's tutorial works for me. I'm going to duplicate this to make a backup. Combustion. Backup. And we'll select keyframe, drop down the arrow that shows the animation details, right click, and we slurp it. Select keyframe, drop down on the arrow that shows animation details. I'm not sure where that is. My first thought is the right click, but that might not be the right arrow. Drop down next to a node name. Oh, this one? This one? This one? I mean, positions, rotations. It's hard to point out. It's behind your cam. Okay. Goodbye, Cam. It was nice knowing you. Boink. So it's behind the camera. We're looking for it. A lot of these are a little bit close together, but should be fine. So drop down next to node name. I don't think it's that. Open menu. Select keyframes. Can I only do certain keyframes at a time? You found it. It's the one with the XYZ. Zoom out a little and you'll have the black translucent bar. Okay. I'm following you. I'm following you. We want the black bar, the black translucent bar. With the XYZ. Black translucent bar. Is this one? Oh, look at you. Okay, V. I see you. I see you, V. We're looking good now. Okay. So I'm going to scrunch all of this down to where it's a little bit faster. Oh, but I can't simply because of some of our keyframes are literally touching each other. So I just have to do it in sections, it seems. So for example, I might have kind of shot myself in the foot the way I structured this actually. But if I drop down again, we can see the black bar appears, but I can't move it closer because my keyframes are right next to each other. However, that's super handy for other things we do. So we did make a backup, and I can revisit, that previous version if we need to. But until then, I will just move all of these, say 1, 2, 3, 4 frames. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. So this will make it at least a little bit faster. 2, 3, and 4. This one's a little bit too quick on the up and up. Was it this one? I think it was this one. Boink. Yeah, I think we want this one to be a little bit delayed. Copy and paste. But yeah, good tip. Thank you, V. Much appreciated. So the timing of our keyframes is pretty good. Trying to get these a little bit more uniform. Pretty happy with that overall. Looks good. We'll save it. Yeah, we're pretty much running out of time, but this is how I would set up the next one. Is we would save as, and we're going to be doing Scorch here. So we do save as PCG VFX _ try Scorch. It's probably not what we named it in game, but for what it is, it makes sense. Try Scorch, we open it, and we're essentially going to be deleting the things we're not using. So again, just double checking we're in the right file, and we'll delete these nodes. We'll create a new child node. This will be our try, and it's going to be right here. We'll delete the blood node that we had and the test node. And so this is where we'll start with tomorrow. delete unattached. Not tomorrow, but next time I see you. Before I forget, just a little reminder here that we have the Get Punked contest, where you yourself can make a steampunk vehicle. So whatever steampunk vehicle you decide to make sure it has, that theme, but also it's 512 by 512 by 512 max. And also it's got maximum 5,000 faces. That way it's game optimized. And of course, you've got until November 25th to finish your steampunk vehicle. And you can go with an ancient feel, a modern feel, futuristic, all allowed, but you're making a vehicle. So make sure it's rideable, drivable. And you'll be cruising through the sandstorm. Ooh, that's a good tagline. Sandstorm. Pick it up. All right. But 5,000 sand pool worth considering here with the total prize pool. First place going 1,500 sand. Second place 1,000 sand. Third place 800. Fourth 700. And fifth 500. Also 6th through 10th also get 100 sand. Nice little runner-up prize. But you have until the end of November 25th. So that's like 3 days, less than in fact. So thank you everybody for watching. We'll see if there's anybody currently live in the sandbox to raid. But that's going to be it for our show. Looks like Roxy Miguel is currently live. Let's go raid Roxy. We'll send the raid his way. Here you go, West, Woke Zombie, Vivox, Paul, O24K, Panda Pops, Paniolo Nate, Aloha. Pineapple Poodle Pen, I didn't see you slip in. Thanks again. Catch you guys later. Have a great day.